This might come as a shock, a surprise to you, but people want to know my thoughts on consumerism. Recently, I've been contemplating money and what to do with money and what's a responsible way to go about handling money and things like that. Now, it's kind of a fair sort of thing to think about, especially in this coming day and age. It's kind of stressful thinking about what you're going to do in the future, what your plans are going to be, and where you're going to live, what it's going to look like, where you live, what your plans are going to be, and how you spend your money is really important. And, what you do with your money can sometimes even determine whether or not you even have faith in God, I think, actually. Because in a sense, we're not really in charge of our own money, right? We're just using God's assets. Now, my favorite book in the whole Bible is Ecclesiastes. And Solomon, who wrote Ecclesiastes, talks a lot about this. He was super rich, right? That was his whole deal, right? And he talked about how he would make himself beautiful houses and gardens and statues and all these sorts of, maybe not statues, they were like a lot of different things. And they were beautiful and wonderful and amazing. He made them all for himself, only for himself. And then he just kind of realized it's all kind of pointless. Like every house would fall down eventually. Every vineyard would go its last vine and then be completely dead. Everything would fall apart. And everything he worked for in his entire life would be left up to somebody who wasn't him, and his next of kin and next of line. And so he realized everything he's doing is for nothing on this earth, right? So that's kind of the whole book of Ecclesiastes, But it doesn't mean that life is boring and depressing. There's no point to being alive. That's not what I'm saying. There's no point to working. He says, it's like the opposite. He says, everything you do, don't do it for yourself. Don't even do it for your family. First and foremost, anyways. Do it for God. So, if you can see how you're going to serve God with your finances and whatever you do, then I'd say those are good financial decisions. But if you're just serving yourself, if you're only thinking about yourself and you're being selfish about it, then there's no reason for you to do that, and it's not honoring to God. And this includes everything, right? This is kind of like a life sort of instruction, right? Because your money shouldn't be about you; it should be about God. And a lot of times it becomes hard to think about God, especially when life is so uncertain. You have all these sorts of things going on, and you're not quite sure what's going to happen tomorrow. And that's understandable. No one really knows. No one really knows what's going to happen tomorrow. You could die tomorrow. Somebody could die tomorrow. It's true, right? No man knows the hour of his death. No man truly knows that. So, what Ecclesiastes kind of rounds out by saying is that everything you do, including those things which you do, for pleasure, like eating good food and your hobbies and all that sort of thing, and all the things that you love in this life, keep those things that you love as long as they're honoring to God and they're not degenerate or whatever. Keep those things and be grateful to God for those, because enjoying pleasure is not a bad thing. We have to remember, it's not. It's just when you use pleasure in a way you're not supposed to, in a way that's actually sinful, that it becomes a problem, right? There's a good use for everything and a bad use for everything. But if you stick to what you're supposed to do, then you're doing well, right? So enjoy life, but make sure that God comes first. Boo! This is October time after all. Let's not be so serious. But yeah, that's my thoughts on consumerism. All right, have a nice day.